Am I the asshole? For asking my GF's father his blessing to propose. Okay, first of all, sorry for any mistakes. English is a second language and I'm still processing what just happened. So, I've been dating my girlfriend for a bit more than a year. She's the perfect girl for me, she's hot, caring and smart, and we both love each other very much. I've been thinking about proposing for a while. My girlfriend is almost done with school and I have a good job with a lot of savings. Since we are visiting her hometown for the week, thought this week would be a good moment to ask her father for his blessing. I've only met with her family a couple of times, since they live in another city, but they never seemed to have a problem with me. Her father is pretty easygoing, so while we don't have much in common, I wasn't really scared of his reaction, only a bit nervous. This afternoon, while my GF was out with old friends, I sat down with him and asked him if I'd have his blessing to marry his daughter. He looked really awkward and confused, and asked me a couple of times if I was being serious. I explained that I was, that I loved his daughter very much and would make sure she never needs anything. He said something along the lines of, "Whoa, I don't know what to say, I was not expecting that." We were silent for a bit and he left the room. I was disappointed to say the least, but still had hopes to convince him. My girlfriend came back soon after, and received a phone call from her mother, who told her I asked GF's dad for his blessing. My girlfriend was really angry at me for asking her dad instead of her and that doing so is sexist, which is stupid because the point was to ask her dad to propose, not to marry her by force, saying she was absolutely not ready for marriage, wasn't even considering it because she thought it was way too early in our relationship after more than a year. She said she felt humiliated in front of her parents and now she left to sleep at her mother's tonight, leaving me alone with her father who's been avoiding me since our conversation. I don't understand what happened. I'm really hurt by her reaction and the way she viewed the possibility of marrying me as completely absurd. I'm really angry and confused at her parents for telling her about my plans instead of letting me propose how I intended. You're the asshole. All of this could have been avoided by having an adult conversation with your partner about future plans. Some people still like the whole asking dad for a blessing permission things. I find it outdated and it seems so does your girlfriend, something that would have come up if marriage was at all discussed in the year you've been together, along with a potential timeline of when it might be appropriate to propose. You're the asshole for all the reasons already stated. But also, even in this post, you called your girlfriend's concerns over sexism stupid. That's how you talk about the woman you want to marry? She's 22 and you've only been dating a little over a year. OFC, she's not ready for marriage. No hate to those who marry young. You're the asshole. You're the asshole not necessarily because of the asking for permission stuff. You're the asshole because you clearly neglected any discussion with her about this and bulldozed further with your perspective on the whole thing. She wasn't even thinking about marriage. If it had talked about this you would have known this. Now some cultures women would want some sort of blessing from the parents either before or after the proposal. Again, if you had talked about this with your GF then you would have known that was an inappropriate thing to do. You're the asshole. You're just pretending to not understand why it's sexist, right? There's no way you actually don't understand why acting like your girlfriend is owned by her father is sexist. All I'm seeing is me. You aren't stopping here to think about her feelings at all, only your own. You're the asshole. You're allowed to be disappointed. But you seem to be ignoring all of her feelings by rebutting with what you think is a logical point instead of caring about whether she feels ready or listened to. She is upset because you did not discuss this with her first. You just assumed it could be worked out between her father and you, and that leaves her out of the decision-making process. You don't know her parents all that well, yet you talked to them about this instead of even floating the idea by her. It may be a cultural thing where you are from, but she is an adult and should have been given a clue you were thinking about this. ETA, you're the asshole. She deserves some agency in this. You're the asshole. With the next girl, try to treat her like an equal. X200B. I'm really angry and confused at her parents for telling her about my plans instead of letting me propose how I intended. They did the only reasonable thing, and handled you well. Bro, 1 year is a very short amount of time. Especially if you never even discussed marriage. Stages normally are dating for a while, living together, maybe get a pet and then discuss what marriage would be like. It's not sexist to seek a blessing, as again it's still her choice to say yes, but clearly you missed a big mark if everyone was surprised by your ask. You're the asshole. This was sexist and poorly conceived. The proposal happens after you have already discussed and agreed that marriage is in your shared future. It is not the entree to that discussion. You are also the asshole for being unable to admit that you were wrong when you literally solicited opinions about your actions. Looks like this woman is getting smart to the kind of person you are. The fact that this came as a surprise to you kinda proves that you don't know either her or her family well enough for marriage. Sorry dude, you're the asshole on this one. Is this post actually real? Op was going to propose never having discussed marriage with an attitude of she can just say no if she's not feeling it. Not to mention the general tone of sexism and being mad at the parents for his lack of due diligence. Info: what culture are you from? Dating for a year isn't really that long of a time. Her mom helped her dodge a bullet. Judging from her reaction, you never discussed the idea of marriage with her yet, and most likely haven't talked about your future plans and if they align or not. If you can't see why you were wrong, then sorry buddy, you might be single soon. You're the asshole. Dude. You have been together for only a year. Never talked about your future or marriage. The hell did you expect? You're the asshole. Information: have the two of you ever discussed marriage? Has she ever stated a desire to get married or what she wants her future to look like? These are important conversations to have before a proposal. You're the asshole. You never even discussed marriage with her before asking her dad if it's okay if you propose to his. Just makes her sound like property. You weren't even aware that she had an opinion and feelings about such an outdated idea. You didn't even know she wasn't ready for marriage. You are either a terrible communicator or you don't really care how she feels, just so